Hey everybody, Mr. Odom here, and we are going to work out problem 26 from section 10.5. You're going to need your pencil, composition book, or notebook paper, and the learning target for this video is you can use formulas to find probabilities of independent and dependent events. So let's get started. So what do we have going on here? There are two questions that we need to answer, and you want to guess the answers. So what's the probability that you would guess the correct answer? Well, the correct answer would be the favorable um, outcome. And how many possible outcomes are there? Well, there are 5 answers for each question. So these events answering each question are independent of each other. What you answer for one question, let's say I choose C, has no effect on what the answer to question 2 is. So these are independent. So that probability would be 4%. You have a 4% chance of guessing these, 1 out of 25, 4% chance of guessing the right answer. I'm not saying these are the right answers, I'm just using that as an example. Okay, so let's look at the problems. Part A, how could the probability of getting both answers correct be 25%? So that means I would have these independent events. I'd find the probability of getting one correct, multiply it by the probability of getting number 2 correct, and that would be 25%, which is the same as 1 out of 4. All right, so how can I do that? Well, look at these two probabilities up here. I can, if I get the first one correct, it's 1 out of 5. There are 5 possible outcomes. And the problem says you want to rule out some of the answer choices. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of some of these answers and then guess. How can I get 25%? Well, I can do that if the probability of getting the first one correct was 1/2, and the probability of getting the second one correct was also 1/2. Well, if I look at that, that means I don't have 5 choices anymore. I only have 2 for each one. And that's really the only way we could get 1/4. All right. If I eliminate one choice from one or 2 choices from one and 3 from another, I can't get to 1/4. That's the only way I can get there, is to have 1/2 times 1/2, which means which means that you'd have to rule out 3 choices in each question, which would leave you 2 possible outcomes for each question, or 2 choices. All right, so that's how you answer that one. So let's look at the next problem. So the next one is B. How can the probability of getting both answers correct be 8 and 1/3%? So 8 and 1/3% is 1/12, because 8 and 1/3 is, let me see here, let me write this out. 8 and 1/3% is 0.0833, and that repeats. Okay, and if you were to go on your calculator and you'd said, what is 1 divided by 12? That's what you get, 0.83333 repeating. So this might be something that you might have to guess what the relationship is. All right, but I have 1/12. And with this problem, to get to that 12, I only have 5 choices. Remember, there's 5 choices for each problem. So I have to eliminate some of those choices. The only way to eliminate them to get 12 in that denominator is if I eliminate one choice from one of the questions and then guess, and then eliminate 2 choices from the second question and then guess. That's the only way I can get to 1/12. So for this problem, you have to rule out 2 answers for one of the questions. And it doesn't matter which one, it could be the first one or the second one. If you rule out two questions for the first question, then you have to rule out one answer for the other question. Okay. So that's how you solve this problem. Okay. A little more challenging problems, but not too bad. All right. So this is Mr. Odom. Hopefully that was helpful, and I am out.